I think protest is a wonderful thing because it's one cool thing. Like, I feel like I think this time in history, 20, 30 years from now, will be very, like, it'll be remembered because it's just like different like boycotts back in the day, like with the bus boycott, with the black kids would do the sit-ins at the restaurants, things like that. Then white people had a problem with it. They spit in their faces. They did all this kind of crazy stuff. But now it's just like, oh yeah, that was wrong. They shouldn't did that. So now with like Black Lives Matter and what Colin Kaepernick is doing, all this kind of stuff, yeah, it's causing this big controversy now. 30 years from now, everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, I love that Colin Kaepernick did that. Like, he's gonna be an American hero in 30 years. Because like, look at Muhammad Ali. He's an American hero right now. But his favorability when he said he wasn't gonna go fight Asian people because they ain't never called him nigger before, that made conservative America go completely crazy. Yeah. But now they love him. He's an American hero now that he's died. So it's just like this whole thing of they whitewash history after it's already happened for a long time. So I'm excited to see what this point in history looks like because I was actually alive for it. So.
Oh, all right. No, I'm listening to everything you said. I think it's important to point out that there are several different forms of protest.
That is also
not, true. So it's not marching isn't the only way of protesting.
Right.
So voting might be your form of protest.
Exactly.
Not voting, could be it's a terrible idea, but it could be a form of protest.
Definitely, it's a horrible idea. But people had to fight so much just to get the right to cast a ballot.
Yep.
Right.
And for you to
one of the famous protests was to get our right to vote.
Yep. No. We were allowed to vote.
No, that's what Martin Luther King did the Selma March.
We were allowed.
Not until 60 voting right was that
68? 67.
No,
was that 60?
Black men were allowed to vote.
68.
No, none of us were allowed to vote.
I want to say 68. No, we weren't allowed to. No, we were not allowed to vote.
Because my dad,
which is to say, there was no constitutional provision that said that you had a guaranteed right to vote. You see. So up until 68, I want to say that's the Voting Rights Act, they could come up with all sorts of crap that
different
they do.
tests.
60 what? Here we go, 65, 64.
64.
Oh, that was
Title
65.
VII.
What came through in 68? Just check that out. So we got, that's the Civil Rights Act. That's what I was saying, the Civil Rights Act. But the Voting Rights Act is also attached. These are separate provisions, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, even now, you see, we don't, as black people, say African Americans specifically, we don't have an inalienable voting right.
Right.
So what it is to say that they go back and reconsider, see, this is an amendment, but it's not law. So they go back and reconsider whether or not they want to allow us to vote.
Yeah.
See, so it's funny as we talk about protest, those that come in, say immigrants that come in, you become naturalized, they have an inalienable right to vote. It's already, so they become right. As black people, we're not quite. You understand? So
it's a lot of laws. It's a lot of laws out there.
Our very constitution.
It's a lot of laws out there keeping poor people away from the polls, and because like my dad, when he was a law student in Mississippi, is so bad, he would go drive poor people to go vote because like some people just couldn't get to the polls, and so like what they'll do is instead of making it a wider network, what they'll do is they'll make it at these certain points where poor people have to go long distances just to get there. And they know a lot of poor people can't drive, they don't have licenses and all these kind of things. And so now that's like one of the reasons like Florida, the voting went red in Florida. A lot of felons couldn't vote, a lot of poor people couldn't vote. Because that's one thing I in my heart, I know a lot of people feel differently about this. I don't see any point why a felon that served his time should not be able to vote. I just think that's ridiculous. You still have to pay taxes. You still have to do all these things. But I committed a crime. I made a mistake. A lot of these people, y'all know, a lot of black people have gone to prison for crimes they didn't even commit. Right. Look at all these people that get taken off death row every year. Yeah. It's crazy. And so it's just like, I've served my time. Why can't I vote now? That's really upsetting to me because I feel like a lot of elections, a lot of things would be swayed in a different way if people that have had felonies can vote. So I think that's one thing that should change for real with voting rights.
I agree, but voting's it's important on a lot of levels, which is it's amazing. One, why people don't vote, as they should, but I understand why they vote.
Like 35% of America that votes.
They don't, and we're largely one, education is poor in
Yes.
this country. It's not where it should be.
Right.
And so if people, I think, had the proper education and understood exactly how to move and maneuver through the system. But, you know, the thing about being poor also is time. You know, so you
That's
don't
the thing.
you don't have time
Yeah.
to sit back.
I don't have time to do that.
And but at
That's
the
why
same
voting
time,
should be a national holiday.
true.
We should get off work. We should get out of school.
Very true.
We should take the kid. Like I feel like my mom. The reason voting is so important to me. When I was a little kid, my mom would take me to the poll with her when she would do the ballot. So and it's just like I'm from Mississippi. Y'all, you're from Virginia. You're from LA. You're from LA. Did y'all learn about like Selma and the Red Sunday, Bloody Sunday, and all that?
Not Bloody Sunday.
See, that's the thing. We should be learning about this stuff in schools because I feel like if every black
we didn't even learn about Nat Turner. Like
That's
I'm
crazy.
from Virginia. But I didn't-
Wow, you're
we
from
didn't-
Virginia.
From
You didn't learn
Virginia.
about Nat Turner.
They didn't teach us in school.
that's
But your
crazy.
teachers don't know.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
I'm saying, the level of ignorance that we have, it's not just
Southampton,
Man.
and, you know.
PhDs. You understand, like people have been teaching and perpetuating ignorance for a long time.
Yeah.
So it's not just by the fact that you'll see the person has a master's or a PhD that they're going to know this stuff.
Yeah.
They don't know.
If you don't study it,
you know,
you don't know.
either. They don't know American
Right.
history either.
Right.
And
a lot
so
of people don't know American
that's
history.
halfway, and mostly the problem right now is ignorance. We're improperly socialized puppies. One, mostly, you know, and then two, we're just ignorant as shit.
Yeah.
So we go out and do. If you simply knew better, you know, like we really would
Yeah.
do better.
That's
Like,
definitely true.
for example, just to hit you with one, you'll have. I'm just using the immigrant. Those that are coming into this country may look at blacks and say, well, why are you here?
Yeah, what's
you
your
know,
problem?
why are you in this
That's why they
particular...
made like Asians the model minority, and then they look at us like, "What's your problem?"
But nobody recognizes, well, one, the only way that you got here,
Tell me.
right, was through the Civil Rights Act,
Right.
right? And so that's before then you were mostly discriminated against.
Right.
Then two, we've had all sorts of institutions from Black Wall Street,
Yeah.
you know, the lotto is simply a vestige of the numbers that's been taken and switched over.
Yeah.
So those things, we've had it and they burned it down,
Yep.
right? We've had it, they killed us for it. And so we weren't allowed to get like homes, you see. That's redlining practices. They don't teach that. We weren't allowed to get the small business loans. So you look out and you say, well, why is it that you have, when's the last time you've been to a black gas station? Laundromat, right? Now it's not that we don't like gas,
Those don't
but
exist.
we weren't given the loans.
Right.